start our next session within 2 or 3 minutes.
Every success has its own story. And in case of PCCOER, short for Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering and Research, the story began from its very inception in the year 2014. We are creating this success story under the aegis of Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust, PCET, which was established by late Shri S.B. Patil in the year 1990. The trust has the vision to provide value-added education to the society in multiple dimensions, right from nursery up to doctoral program in all professional streams. PCET is a well-established and time-tested brand in education. PCET governs 9 institutes, which include a public school, a polytechnic, a management institute, an architecture college, a science and commerce college, and 4 engineering colleges.
Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering and Research is one of the leading colleges of Pune University. We follow the simple principle of 5-pillar philosophy. In this 5-pillar philosophy, the academic excellence is the first and the important pillar. The second one is research and innovation. Third is the training and development aspect. Fourth is the social awareness angle. And fifth is ethics and values. As a result of this, the students are developed in all dimensions, and the college is emerging very fast among the top colleges of Pune University as well as at the state level.
PCCOER has been founded by highly qualified and proficient academicians. We are located in the most refined cluster of innovative firms at the heart of an industrial hub. Here, our students have numerous career opportunities. PCCOER runs UG courses for civil engineering, computer engineering, electronics and communication engineering, and mechanical engineering. These courses have been approved by AICTE, DT, and Government of Maharashtra.
Hello.
The institute is affiliated to
Sir, am I audible?
Savitribai Phule, Pune University. PCCOER
Yes, ma'am.
is a place of
Sir, you want to do a
excellence
testing whether your
where
slide is
your
visible or
vision
not,
comes
or-
true.
Yes.
At
Yeah, so
PCCOER,
I'll just
you
present
can wander
my
through the ocean of knowledge and build the courage to seize your aspirations. We merge technology and participative learning to make your education more engaging, more gratifying. PCCOER has a skilled team of experienced,
Is it visible?
highly qualified, dedicated faculties and
Yes, sir, it's
associates.
visible.
They play their crucial role
Sir,
in fulfilling the vision
we'll
of
just start within 1
PCCOER.
or 2 minutes.
We
We have
have
to
a
connect on live
systematic
streaming session.
and
First, I'll
standardized
give-
pattern
I'll
for
give a-
work execution and a perfect teamwork. We have a comfortable, pleasant, healthy, and friendly campus where the students can exploit their true potential.
Deepshika ma'am, you can start. Hello, Dipshika ma'am. Yes. Yes. Okay.
A very good morning to all. We have with us Abhishek Magotra, Managing Partner. He is a patent attorney with over 15 years of experience in intellectual property rights and is a member of Asian Patent Attorney Association. He specializes in creating roadmaps for clients' research and development activities and has extensive experience in providing end-to-end solution to clients in the field of intellectual property rights. His expertise in optimization of research and development activities, managing intellectual property portfolios, and protecting intellectual property rights. Abhishek sir's other areas of expertise include filing, prosecution, and opposition challenges in respect of industrial design and trademarks. Apart from providing technology transfer strategy, commercialization, technical know how, evaluation, and valuation of intellectual property rights. Currently, he is a co founder and managing partner at MS Law Partners. So, we have with us today Abhishek Magotta, sir. I welcome him to please deliver his speech. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Yeah. Uh, Good morning, everyone. First of all, I'd like to congratulate PCCOER in conducting this conference once again, and quite successfully though. So this has been the second year of SIPSIS conference, and I'm proud to be part of this conference last year and this year as well. And thank you for giving me this opportunity to present my thoughts about IP. So today I'll be speaking about IP protection. My mind about how an IP protection should be done. What are the best practices? What you need to know, being entrepreneurs, being in the industry, being students or individuals, startups in any capacity. When you are thinking about IP and IP protections, there are certain do's and don'ts which I'll be focusing today on. Mr. Sitaraman has given a very detailed and very enlightening presentation on what is IP, what are different forms of IP, which is very important. And my presentation is going to be an extension of that, in terms of how that IP, once you have identified, how that should be protected, what you need to take care of. So I'll just go to it's going to be a very crisp and short discussion. And any questions or any queries, I'll be open to that at the end of the conference. So, what is innovation? We all know what innovation is, what IP is. For innovations to succeed, they do not need to be perfect, but they do need to offer a real benefit to investors, business partners, consumers at large, and public. So, even if you have innovated something, you keep it in your baggage. It's not going to help unless it's commercialized. Unless any your investors see a potential in that. So, Walmart acquisition of Flipkart. That's some one headline that we saw a few years back. Perhaps India's biggest startup success story. With over 2.9 billion of in annual revenue, it wasn't a surprise when American retail giant Walmart decided to acquire Flipkart. It gave Flipkart a 360-degree advantage to Walmart's best practice, best price, which has a cash and carry business. So it's like holding power on both sides of consumer ecosystems when Flipkart now gets the user base in retail also apart from online users. So the entire ecosystem of IP, be it patents, trademarks, copyrights, it's all about being new. It's all about being unique, being different, being first in the race. So what does this mean? We know that you once we have an idea in our mind, we should get it protected. But how soon you get it protected is a real question. So if you if you have a concept, if you have developed a new technology, you speak to 10 people about it, you gain thoughts over it, you present it in your paper, and then you file a patent or a trademark or any IP registration for that matter. Does that actually give you protection? Unfortunately, no. While patents give you the protection on a subject technology, but that needs to be novel and non-obvious. Trademarks, on the other hand, they give you protection over marks, over the logo, over your company name, over your product name, but those should also be novel and not used before. Designs, on the other hand, give you protection on aesthetics of products, but those also need to be new and not in public domain before you file the design registrations. Artwork in any form, literature gives you protection under copyright, but they should also be unique and not copied from somewhere else. Therefore, I say that innovation is pivotal to IP ecosystem. So as far as you have innovation, you can get the IP right for that, and that IP right should be quick enough, not to be copied by somebody else or not to be presented by somebody else in on any platform. So anyone who's thinking of IP must think of how to be innovative and creative. So that's as someone says that it's a bent of mind which only few people have, but that's not the case. In my experience, I've seen n number of people coming up with n number of creations or innovations, be it students, be it someone in industry, engineers, doctors. We've seen in this pandemic, apart from scientists, many doctors, working doctors, they come up with real inventions just based on what they are experiencing, the problem that the challenges that they have at hand, and how they are solving that problem. So it's merely a way of thinking rather than having a certain mindset. So, no matter how great your idea is and how successful it may be on a commercial level, if it is not new or innovative, it won't pass the test of IP registration. So it's very important once you have an idea in your mind, whether that idea is really patentable. Have you done your due diligence enough? Have you done your research enough? Is it really new? Whatever I think, I get an idea in my drawing room of my home, and I think that okay, this could yield me a good result, and I put it to practice, and it actually gives me a good result. But does that mean that it's actually innovative? It's actually novel? You won't be able to prove that unless you do some sort of due diligence, some sort of research on Google, on on various platforms. You see what's the practice in the field. This is about patents, about trademarks, whether similar names or similar logos are available, or is what I am making, if that is the novel idea or the innovation. So ideas, innovation. in terms of patents, it's in all kind of domains. Like today we are talking about banking, finance, healthcare, agriculture, entertainment, be it cybersecurity, manufacturing. Everywhere we have some sort of IP, some sort of innovation going on. This is especially with regard to patents, where we have any challenge that is faced by a technician, an engineer, any expert, any professional. If that is solved efficiently, if that is solved by increasing the speed or optimization of efficiency, that gives you the protection. And if your protection is done in a faster manner, of course you get the protection over it. So from where does this innovation comes? How is it generated? What to do to innovate? That's a basic question that comes to our mind when we talk of innovation. So I, being a student, at a particular time, this was one big question that came to my mind on how do I innovate? What does an inventor look like? What is an innovation? But it's so simple. The answer is very, very simple. Innovation is an end result of research and development. So you research, you develop a new process, you develop a new product, you develop a new mark, you develop a new color combination, you write an article, you write your research paper. It gives you a protection, it gives you an IP. Most of the times, if you've done your due diligence, as I said, you've done proper research, really gives you a blockbuster IP. So innovation, especially in the context of patents, is not just coming up with the idea. It is to research an idea and to develop the idea into a concrete and tangible solution. So what does that mean? Does that mean that whatever I think and whatever I theoretically feel it could work, is it not patentable? Unfortunately not. So whatever your idea is, it is important that you reduce it to practice. And by reducing it to practice, it does not have to be a working model as such. It doesn't have to be a working product as such. Or in case of software, it doesn't have to be a final a website or an app or any product, a software product for that matter. It has to be sufficiently explained, even though theoretically, that it should work in a normal environment, in a practical environment. If a person who is in the same field, in case of software, a software engineer, if it's in the same field, whether looking at the content of the disclosure, whether he or she will be able to develop a product out of it or not. So if the information that you have is sufficient, then of course you have an innovation. Otherwise, if you have an idea that you could go to moon, is not an innovative idea, unfortunately. But unless you decide that yes, from my place to moon, I build up certain concrete, certain tangible infrastructure, or I have some sort of traveling mechanism. So you define it, you ensure that there is a proper fuel to reach up to space and up to the moon. You have sufficient the weight is sufficient, and so on and so forth. So unless you have all the intermediate parts or all the intermediate steps covered, you will not have a patentable innovation for that matter. Or even in terms of trademarks and copyrights, that's a little simpler as far as as compared to patents. But there also you need to have some sort of novelty or some sort of innovativeness. So again, coming back to patents, when you're continuously researching for years and months and days, you reject hundreds, sometimes thousands of ideas. You select one of those, and then you work on 100 ways of achieving that idea or achieving the end result. As I said, the intermediate steps, you may be encountering hundreds or 200s or thousands of steps, but you fail in some, you decide some are not optimum, and then you decide just one. So now when you have one idea, or perhaps more than one ideas out of thousands of ideas, you have one way of performing an idea which is unique, which gives you certain advantages. It is more efficient, it is more optimized. It's the speed is increased, for example. There are different examples for that. Once you have that, then you get a blockbuster product or a groundbreaking technology. So this is what an innovation is. It is not merely getting an idea and putting it on paper and filing it in the patent office. No, that does not guarantee you an IP. But if it is properly researched, if it is properly put into paper, then you have a strong IP, and you have a good chance of commercialization, or for that matter, enforcement through various courts as well. So again, research. Where do you do the research? That's another question that comes to our mind. Do I need to wear a white coat and go to labs? Do I need to have some sort of incubation centers? Do I need to have everything that? The answer is research can be done anywhere. It could be your college library, it could be your homes, it could be in of course in incubation centers, in your labs. So there is no restriction on where the research could be, depending on what kind of technology or what kind of subject matter you're working on, especially with regard to patents. So if you have a software product or innovation in a software, then you need not go to a lab at all. Your laptop is your research center for that matter. So the takeaway point here is that R&D drives innovation. Research and development is the drive for innovation. Therefore, innovation hubs or centers are placed where R&D is the main focus. So we've seen many of us, maybe students or startups. So we've seen throughout our journey that there are various innovation hubs or innovation centers which are set up not just in institutes but outside institutes as well. So what are these innovative centers? Innovation centers, I mean, these centers can be broadly bucketed into four heads: universities, startups, industry stakeholders, and individuals. So when I say individual centers, it does not necessarily mean an innovation lab or any library or anything. So so your institute, for that matter, becomes an innovation center where you can do your research and development in your area. So you have startups. Startups have the concept of startup started with having an idea, a novel idea, and coming up with practical solution for that. We have industry stakeholders, different there are different companies, there are multinationals, there are Indian small and big industries, there are MSMEs who are working on innovation day in and day out. And of course, individuals are the ones who actually drive innovation. So an individual, a human being, does not require a great deal of tools and mechanisms for innovation to prosper. So while one can innovate in kitchen, garden, at home, anywhere, the hub or center of all innovative activity is these four places. So broadly, these are the places where you will have all innovation or all innovation centers for that matter. So these are the factories for innovation. So this is you churn out innovation one after the other. It's just that you need to have that spark in you. You need to have that fire in the belly, um, to be able to come up with the innovation, and of course back it up with a decent research. So amongst the the innovation hubs or innovation centers, academic institutes play the most important role. The reason being, the research here is driven by a vision to find something new and not commercialization, unlike the industry. The mindset in institutes or academics is to invent, is to find something new and not to earn. Even in the pandemic, even in the COVID, in the last 1 year, we've seen a number of institutes coming up with a lot of innovation, in the pharma sector, in design sector, in electronics software sector. We've seen world moving from hard copies to soft copies. So everybody is now going virtual. So software has played a big role in driving the nation and driving the world. So all everything we've seen in the last 1 years, at least I'm talking about the pandemic that we are facing, we're going through right now. Industries, of course, are pitching up and doing some research, but academics and institutes, they have in fact uh, uh, they have in great deal brought out the innovation, and there are multiple hundreds and hundreds of patents which have been filed by institutes, not just in India but throughout the world. So innovation in academics or in institutes or universities is not driven by commercial factors. So the idea in academics or institutes is to publish. They they face great difficulties in filing patents, but they take great pride in publications of their innovations or their research papers for that matter. So the mindset here is not restricted only to commercialization, whereas in industry, if one company is working in a particular sector, they'll not be open on innovation in other sectors. So a pharmaceutical company, for example, may not be interested in something which is vital in LEDs or electronics or electrical. So this is academics or institutes are considered as hub of innovation, not just today but since the innovation has started. There is a reason why even the industry partners collaborate with the academic labs. So we have big players like Qualcomm, Nokia, and so on, who run several projects with prestigious institutes like IITs and other institutes. So there are pharma companies like Pfizer and all who run several projects in JNU and in IITs and all. So they understand that while academics, while institutes may not have the enough resources which companies have, but the kind of mindset and the kind of research that institutes or universities have, it's not that any industry or a corporate can afford. So the companies are aware that they have money, but the core research is much faster and a good quality in academic institutions. So that's one of the key factors why industry academia collaboration is such a success throughout the world. So the aptitude to invent, which is there in the institutes and universities, sometimes lacks in the industries. So you have innovation centers, your R&D divisions in industries, in big corporates, in small MSMEs and all. But the workforce or the resources in terms of manpower, etc., they have to be limited to a certain extent because their core competencies is somewhere else. Whereas on the other hand, the universities, the institutions, sky is the limit. The students, the faculties who work on innovations, who work on projects every year of their academics, they they look for new ways of arriving at a particular solution, new ways of solving a problem which is existing over a large period of time. So they come up with an unexpected results, which even the industry corporates fail to do so. But sometimes there is a long felt need of something, but industry failed to address those issues. Whereas we have seen many examples where the academics or institutions have come up with real solutions, and that too time intensive and cost effective solutions. So similarly, we have now startups, which is a new buzz, not just now, it's been there for some time. um, with all the young minds, vibrant energy, enthusiasm, motivation, passion, aggression, they might make a perfect place to generate innovation. So, we all know a startup starts with an idea. So ultimately, it's the novel idea or the new idea that drives a startup. So you set up a company, you form a company, you look for investors, and what do investors see? They look at your idea. Your idea is the main crux, which gives the startups their investments which are required, which we have seen acquisitions, talking about Flipkart and all. But there are many acquisitions which are happening every day. Like we are now speaking, there may be some acquisition talks which may be going on anywhere in the world. So everything resides on the pivot is nothing but the idea. And it's not just the idea, it's how the idea is reduced to practice, whether that is cost efficient, whether that is optimized, whether that is more efficient, whether there are other technical factors which are involved in that. So that's something which not just the patent office looks at for granting you an idea, but even for commercialization, it's very important that you have an idea which comes out from proper due diligence and research. But being in the academic institute or a startup is not sufficient, is it so? So you've with your academics, you come up with some sort of innovation, some sort of ideas, you've kind of reduced it to practice. Whether that is sufficient, you incorporate a startup, you develop a product, is that sufficient enough? To be able to to be able to innovate, one needs to have a vision and a roadmap. That's something which many innovators miss out on. Please remember, innovation or innovating something is not end of the road. That's the starting point. So you have innovated something, you developed an idea, you reduced it to practice, but what after that? You cannot be just getting a patent application or a patent filed and putting it in a in your closet forever. You need to have it commercialized. You need to have it maybe some investor coming for it. You need to have some sort of license. Ultimately, whatever you're doing it for the good of public at large. You're doing it for mankind. You're giving better products, you're giving better better medicines. So what you need to do, you need to have a proper vision. How you manage your IP is actually the key in success of commercialization of your innovation. So one needs to manage its resources and strategies aiming towards that vision. So what are those management, and what are the strategies that we need to absorb? So you once you have an idea, once you have a product out of it, what are you doing with it? Are you giving sufficient budget to that? Are you giving, what is your patent looking like? Is it a properly written patent? Once a patent is filed, is it properly prosecuted? Is it properly examined? Assuming you've got a grant of a patent, what after that? Are you maintaining it well? Are you actually paying the annuity fees? Did you consult an expert? Did you see your patent? Does it reap results? Does it have sufficient information which actually enables, a person in this field, in the field of the subject matter in which you filed a patent, to develop a product out of it, or to develop an app out of it in case of software, or to develop a medicine out of it, or a salt or a compound for that matter? Whether you have done that, whether you have given proper resources, whether you have you are talking to sufficient people about it, are you marketing it enough? Do you have a roadmap about it? What do you think? It'll whether it'll be it'll remain in your closet after 2 years, whether it should be open in the market, whether you should be licensing it to somebody else. All those things needs to be kept in mind. It's it's as simple as as nurturing your idea, you know um, as I keep saying, it's as simple as managing a pet, or managing your sons and daughters, your children. So these have to be your innovations are your babies. You need to nurture them well. You need to take care of them. You need to have a roadmap. You need to know where they arrive, where they reach after 2 years, after 5 years, whether they have the potential to reach up to a certain height or not. And if yes, then why don't you take actions, or at least prepare a roadmap so that it reaches its logical conclusion? So the due diligence is one thing, sufficient protection is one thing. um, Now, once you have a vision and a management, you need to have an IP toolkit. This is something which every patent owner, or every innovator need to have, not just in patent but in other sectors of IP as well. So you have your logo protected. You set up a company. It may be a startup, it may be MSME. You claim, or you get a protection on the name of the company. You get protection on name of the product. You get your artifacts, you get your pamphlets copyrighted. You get your products protected under designs. You get the appearances set. You get their get all IP rights. And once you have them, once you have everything in your bag, uh, then see whether you have sufficient budget. Are you actually spending 100 rupees, 10 rupees, 1,000 rupees on your budget, on your IP? What are the expenses that you're going to wear? Whether you have sufficient agreements with it. When you have consultants with you, you have your employees, you have your workers with you. Whether you have sufficient agreements with them, whether they will be leaking out your trade secrets out, whether you have NDAs, non-disclosure agreements. When you are researching in your field, when you may or may not have filed a patent application, but you talk to your vendor about developing a product out of it, you give them your know-how, whether you've signed an NDA with them, a non-disclosure agreement, so that they are bound by law not to disclose your technology to somebody else, whether you have sufficient resources, whether you have a marketing manager, whether you have someone who's taking care of your patent rights, whether you have someone who's actually taking care of all the deadlines, whether your IP rights are well protected, have they expired. You need to have some sort of eye over the IP rights and their day-to-day activities. Whether the product-wise preferred market, have you seen it? You know that pharmaceutical these days is on an all-time high, especially because of this pandemic. You've seen which are the markets which are best suited for your product. You are in software industry. You know that these are my preferred markets. So have you looked into that? Have you made a bucket list out of that? You need to do all that. Identify knowledge partners. It's not sufficient for us to work in isolation. You someday or the other you would be working with some sort of knowledge partners, maybe not today, but you may want to expand after 5 years, and you may want to have some sort of knowledge partners, maybe in India, maybe overseas, but you need to know who are the knowledge partners in this area. It's not sufficient to have the knowledge partners idea in your mind. You need to have them well written or well documented. How much they may cost, what is the kind of equity that I may give it to them. If I decide to commercialize my invention, if I decide to license my invention, is the X company that can help me out with that? Is this some sort of multinational who can be my knowledge partner, who can give me some know-how, and I give them the product out of it? So everything needs to be sorted right at the start, because if you don't do that, and if it comes at the last minute, as many of us study in the last days of exams, in the preparatory holidays, if we do that, we may end up failing in our projects. We may end up getting best knowledge partners with us. We may end up getting more expensive deals, which may not be very efficient for us. So all these things you need to have in your toolkit right at the start, at least some sort of information. And finally, keep an eye on imitators. So whatever you have developed, it could be any kind of IP, any kind of intellectual property right, designs, trademarks, patents, anything. You need to keep your eye whether anybody else is copying your product, anybody else is copying your name, your design of your product, your written material, your literature, your artifacts, your anything that you have. So if anybody is copying, they are potentially taking away your market. So you need to take care of them, consult the experts, look at how difficult the market is, how best I can be suited for a particular innovation or in a particular market. So with that, I'll conclude, and if any questions, I'll be open to that. But the takeaway point here, I would say, would be, if you are working on an innovation, if you're working, if you're trying to protect your IP, make sure that's the starting point and not the end point, and ensure that all your IP is commercialized, it's properly worked in India, it's properly worked outside India, because that's the need of the hour. That's what is going to make India an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So thank you everybody. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, sir, for your wonderful session. Once again, on behalf of PCCOER Rave, I would thank you for such an informative session.
Thank you, ma'am. My pleasure. Thank you so much.
Every success has its own story. And in case of PCCOER, short for Pimpri Chinchwad College of Engineering and Research, the story began from its very inception in the year 2014. We are creating this success story under the aegis of Pimpri Chinchwad Education Trust PCET, which was established by late Shri S.B. Patil in the year 1990. The trust has the vision to provide value-added education to the society in multiple dimensions, right from nursery up to doctoral program in all professional streams. PCET is a well-established and time-tested brand in education. PCET governs 9 institutes, which include a public school, a polytechnic, a management institute, an architecture college, a science and commerce college, and 4 engineering colleges.
Pimpri-Chinchwad College of Engineering and Research is one of the leading colleges of Pune University. We follow the simple principle of 5-pillar philosophy. In this 5-pillar philosophy, the academic excellence is the first and the important pillar. The second one is research and innovation. Third is the training and development aspect. Fourth is the social awareness angle, and fifth is ethics and values. As a result of this, the students are developed in all dimensions, and the college is emerging very fast among the top colleges of Pune University as well as at the state level.
PCCOER has been founded by highly qualified and proficient academicians. We are located in the most refined cluster of innovative firms at the heart of an industrial hub. Here, our students have numerous career opportunities. PCCOER runs UG courses for civil engineering, computer engineering, electronics and communication engineering, and mechanical engineering. These courses have been approved by AICTE, DT, and Government of Maharashtra. The institute is affiliated to Savitribai Phule, Pune University. PCCOER is a place of excellence where your vision comes true. At PCCOER, you can wander through the ocean of knowledge and build the courage to seize your aspirations. We merge technology and participative learning to make your education more engaging, more gratifying. PCCOER has a skilled team of experienced, highly qualified, dedicated faculties and associates. They play their crucial role in fulfilling the vision of PCCOER. We have a systematic and standardized pattern for work execution and a perfect teamwork. We have a comfortable, pleasant, healthy and friendly campus where the students can exploit their true potential. We provide a self-sufficient and sustainable environment to develop the perception of how various concepts fit in collectively. Our approach has always been student-centric, and we stay attentive to their demands. The institute building is not just a structure of bricks and mortar, it's a temple for the learners. We provide the best teaching learning processes and a research-provoking ambience. We have well-equipped laboratories with state-of-the-art instruments that ensure that you are at the cutting edge of engineering and technology. Our infrastructure includes all the necessary suite of tools and software which help the students bloom.
We organize guest lectures of expert speakers from industry and reputed institutions like IITs for students as well as for faculties. We organize site visits, industrial visits in each and every subject for the students so that students are exposed to the three-dimensional engineering realities. It is also mandatory for the students to undergo internship so as to gain invaluable hands-on experience. We have smart boards, We have screens, projectors, computers in each and every classroom. We have state-of-art laboratories where we encourage the student to perform experiments, to perform tests, to develop projects, to develop working models.
The institute campus is rich with greenery and blooming flowers, which bring a soothing touch to the demanding academic tasks. We have a huge ground where students enjoy outdoor sports and an open gymnasium for the fitness freaks. The indoor gymnasium has facilities for many indoor games. We have a vast library that houses more than 2,000 titles and 10,000 volumes of technical books, subscription to several technical journals, e-journals, and a large collection of literary books to cater every intellectual need. The reading hall has the ambience that motivates the students to stay focused and excel confidently. Empty stomach results in empty mind. Hence, we have excellent arrangements in the form of canteen and mess to satisfy the physical appetite of the students and staff. Other facilities on campus include covered parking, CCTVs, 24/7 security, and firefighting system. We have our own comfortably furnished hostel accommodation for boys and girls. Intellectual and psychological growth of the students is the centerpiece of PCCOER. Our students excel not only in academics but also in cultural and social events. We create various mind-feeding activities and conduct several exercises such as yoga workshop, mind education, wall magazine, self-awareness programs, inspirational programs, project-based learning, and annual gatherings. Our students participate and shine in co-curricular and extracurricular activities like Baha, Go-Kart, Robocon, Tiffin, Purushottam Karandak, Firodia Karandak, Daji Kaka Gadgil Karandak, and many more. Socio-economic empowerment of society is everyone's responsibility. PCCOER has always been a torch bearer in shouldering such responsibilities.
This unit regularly arrange blood donation camps. This year our blood donation camp saw a response of about 150 blood donors. Our students regularly visit old age homes and orphanages where they feel very happy and joyous to spend time with underprivileged elderlies and children. Students regularly take part in social activities like tree plantations regarding environment as well as various cleanliness drives as part of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. Part of Unnat Bharat Abhiyan for rural development by the Government of India, our college has adopted 5 villages in Mawal Taluka of Pune district.
We are equipping our students with the set of skills, capabilities, and attitudes they need to succeed as employees, leaders, and entrepreneurs in modern world.
We are probably the only institute in India which has placed its 77% of students in first 2 batches. Around 400 plus companies give opportunity of placements to our students every year. We train our students right from second year, considering their improvement for soft skills, aptitude skills, technical skills. So recently we have conducted drive of Amazon where the maximum package given was around 28 lakhs. 2 of our students got selected in Japan for the packages of around 20 lakhs and 17 lakhs.
I am currently working in a Japanese company, tech firm, which is located in Tokyo, and I got a package of 17 lakh. When I was in second year, the Japanese training started in our college, and our HOD was very supportive, and she was like, you should do this training because it will be beneficial in your future.
Our central placement cell has placed more than 20,000 students. We have conducted 125 off-campus drives for 33,000 students from all over Maharashtra. Here, more than 1,400 students have secured their dream job. We have also channeled 150 online recruitment examinations. We are a vibrant alliance of educators and scholars who guide and motivate the students by setting an example, not by empty words. We at PCCOER emphasize on breakthrough engineering with breakthrough results.
माझा मुलगा शिवम भावसार हा याने डिप्लोमा केलेला आहे इन मेकॅनिकल इंजिनिअरिंग. तर त्याच्यासाठी आम्हाला डिग्रीसाठी खूप चांगलं कॉलेज आम्ही शोधत होतो. त्याचं सगळं व्यक्तिमत्व फुलेल, ऑलराऊंडर बनेल याच्यासाठी आम्ही बऱ्याच कॉलेजचा शोध घेतला. त्याच्यामध्ये नाशिकमध्ये आम्हाला असं कळालं की पिंपरी चिंचवड कॉलेज ऑफ इंजिनिअरिंग अँड रिसर्च